going on, people? Fam Entertainment here from TICGN.com. Welcome to episode 42 of the Double XP podcast. You know what, y'all? It took me a minute to realize they were up to 42 episodes. That's a lot for a bi-weekly podcast. Imagine if we were every week, we will be get ready to hit 100 episodes. So,
damn, that's a lot of episodes. I need some time off.
What? No time off, sir. No time off. Let's get to the introductions. I know y'all missed us. We've been gone for a while, and unfortunately, we could not have the show at PAX South because for some reason, they decided to try to get rid of the podcast room and try to stick us in the hallway.
Oh, hell no.
Good. We too classy for that.
Wow. I was wondering what happened.
Yeah.
Damn.
We're going to start with the introductions. We got my light-skinned brother from somebody else's mother, Mr. Nicodemus X.
Yeah, what's going on, everybody? This is Nicodemus, the king of indies himself. You all know me as the indie god of this world. But back again, once again, and it's so good to be here with my lovely panel. And shout out to everybody who's joining, who supports us. Hit that like button, all that good stuff. Thank you.
You know, Nick, actually using the hashtag, they know who I am, because they knew who he was at PAX.
Hey, y'all think I'm just say this type of stuff?
They knew who he was at PAX.
Y'all think I'm like got a big head because I'm light skinned? No, I got a big head for a reason, man. They know me out here in these streets. Mostly because I'm light skinned, but they know me out here in these streets, man. I'm telling you.
But yeah, man, the developers, yeah, man, we know Nick. Or I had an interview with Nick last year. Like they hear in a circle and they automatically think of Nicodemus.
That's so good. That means I'm doing my job. You heard me?
He is out here working with these indie developers. Next up, we got my right hand, one man, Miss 2V1 herself, Mama Sita.
Hey y'all, this is Mama Sita, Classic Gamer Girls, and I'm just glad to once again be here with my team members, Double XP podcast, and ready to talk about these single player experiences and PAX South and all that other good stuff. And thanks everybody for following me on Mixer, Mama Sita 925. Appreciate some of the new followers and messages that I've been getting about when am I going to stream again. So I'll be updating you guys on that pretty soon.
Nice.
Right.
Next up, Crunk Girl, what's happening?
Yo, what's going on, people? How y'all doing? Y'all already know who it is. It's your favorite gamer girl, Crunker 711. Glad to be back. Glad to actually be on here today because I thought I was in class, but it's a snow day, so I've been in the house all day chilling. But glad to be talking about some games and enjoying everybody's company, and let's get it.
Hey, my apologies, y'all. For some reason, Alexa decided to start speaking. I had to go on mute. Yeah, that's what happened with you, Crunk. My Alexa just decided she want. Oh, I said her name again. Probably going to say something else. My bad. I'm going to unplug her. But last but not least, we got one of the most talented dudes I've ever known in my lifetime that I've really gotten to know more and more during our trip to PAX. My man, Dallas.
Oh man, it's been a long time. I shouldn't have left you without a dope beat to step to. Man, I feel like extra light skin right now, man. I feel like can't nobody tell me nothing.
What?
About what does that mean? Can't nobody tell me nothing about just hear me out though.
Okay, go ahead.
At PAX, man, we had an experience with 505 games with these with a couple streamers, with a couple of competitive gamers. After that little moment, man, I feel like can't nobody tell us nothing about these competitive games.
Okay.
But we'll get on that a little bit later though.
Listen, bro.
I'm about to say I don't know if I should be offended or what.
A couple of journalists beat some professional gamers in a game, and we didn't lose. We didn't get a sticks up.
Man, without trying.
Was working them. And never even played the game before. Working them.
That was nice though. Y'all the homies if y'all listening.
What game was it?
But come see us again. Laser League.
Hey!
What?
This man Fame, what he wasn't supposed to say?
That's okay to say though. That's okay to say. I can say that.
Okay.
That's okay to say. I can't say more. I can't say any more than that. I can't say any more than that, but I can say that much.
You're right. Yeah. That's we can't talk. Okay, you're right.
It's about 505 games.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And as soon as we're from underneath our NDAs, we will talk about the game.
All right.
So, yeah, I was sure for a second. I wasn't gonna say the name, and he had me scared for a moment. I said, "Oh, I don't want to lose my cars."
No, I'm gonna tease a little bit, but I can't give it to him yet.
Dope. All right, guys, let's jump right on into it. But before we do that, just let you guys know, if you go in the description down below, we are giving away a limited edition Sea of Thieves controller. Also, a physical copy of the game. This giveaway is open worldwide. So make sure you guys click the link down below and enter to win. Now, what y'all been playing? Really quick. Let's try to make it as quick as possible. Let's start with Nick. Nick, what have you been playing, sir, besides Netflix?
Oh, actually, I've been doing a lot better when it comes to like played games. I've kind of toned down the Netflix thing. So I'm gonna run down real quick. Every game I've been playing has been indie games. Y'all may or may not have heard of them, but they've been really, really delightful, actually. First game I've been playing is a game called Planet of the Eyes. It's a puzzle platformer game. It's reminiscent of Limbo and other games like that. I've been playing Mother Russia Bleeds, which is basically like Streets of Rage, but it's like, I don't know. This game is demented, man. Like completely crazy, demented. Serial Cleaner, I've been playing that. Guns, Gore, Cannoli, I finally finished that game. And then this game called Bleed, I beat that as well. So I've been playing quite a few indies in the last 2 weeks. Okay.
Crunk, what you been playing?
She gone.
I'm here. I've been playing Persona 5. I finally beat that joint.
Hallelujah.
I'm stuck on that, man. I've been stuck on that game for months. I put it down. I'm like, F this game because I got mad. And I finally was like, I'm gonna beat it. So I beat the game. And I was playing that on top of playing Darksiders 2. I'm like midway through that game. That game it's got mad puzzles in it. So it kind of takes a little minute to beat. Of course, my 2Ks, my Maddens. And I started DSX because that was a free PlayStation game for the month. So I'm gonna start on that next. Was it DSX Mankind? I believe it was free this month.
Oh yes,
Batman.
I downloaded that yesterday. I had that Batman already, but I downloaded that yesterday.
Yeah, so I'm gonna try those two.
I kind of caught that on the slick. I was just checking out PlayStation Plus. I'm like, whoa, they had this free? Shit.
Yeah, it was a pretty good month. That and Batman, not bad.
Nice.
Yeah, sex is trash.
Oh no.
What you been playing, G? He gone.
Since we talking about Since we talking about PlayStation Plus, I actually been playing Uncanny Valley. It's pretty dope. I haven't been playing much between that and Evil Within 2.
Okay. Masita, where you been trying to reach her? What you been playing?
Well, I've been on my indie kick the past week or so. So
there she go, the queen of indies.
Yeah, I completed Virginia, What Remains of Edith Finch.
Oh, nice.
I completed, Brothers, A Tale of Two Sons. Oh man, I'm gonna tell you that game. That's a 505 game published game as well. That game, man, controlling the characters with different controls at the same time. It's almost like playing co-op with yourself.
Yeah.
That's the best way I can describe it. But I was really surprised when, with the story, and even the graphics, and just it's and apparently this is the same writer. I guess the game that's coming out way out. He's the same writer. So,
was it backwards compatible?
Yeah. Well, okay. No, actually, no. I don't think it's not backwards compatible.
It was on 360 because that's
but they have an Xbox One. They do have an Xbox One version. Now, I don't know if that means it's backwards compatible or they actually just made the game for the Xbox One. That I don't know.
Yeah. Okay.
But I have the hard copy that I picked up from GameStop.
You picking up hard copies of indie games? Oh, yes.
Well, I mean, it was like $3.
Yes,
it was like $3.
Yes,
so,
I'm impressed. I'm impressed. Yes.
But yeah, and Wolfenstein. So I'm back on Wolfenstein 2 because I had kind of set that up down for a minute because I don't know. I kind of got a little frustrated in a couple of areas that I've been in.
What's the courtroom scene?
The what?
Was it the courtroom scene you got frustrated?
Actually, I just wrapped up the courtroom scene this weekend.
That scene was annoying for me.
Yeah, that was annoying. that scene was unbelievable.
That
and it's like,
that scene made me drop the difficulty because I had it on like
what?
I had it on. I was playing on hard. I was playing on the second to hardest difficulty. It made me drop it to normal.
Okay, well, I was playing on normal and was ready to drop it down. I didn't do it, but I was ready to.
Yeah, I was tempted.
I was ready to because of that scene. My gosh, it was like everywhere you went. I was like, okay, you clear one area. What? Are you freaking kidding me?
See, what got me was I had to realize I can't stay there. I had to make sure when that door open, make a beeline for that. To get inside. Once you get inside that, when the first door open, once you get in there, it's so much, armor and heavy weapons.
Yeah, that was discovered. That area was discovered. But my issue is, thing about with shooters with me, especially with Wolfenstein, because y'all know so much can come at you, and shooters are just still I'm still pretty much a noob with shooters. And I don't know, sometimes I get a little flustered when everything coming at me at one time. And I'm like, wait a minute, hold on, stop. Just stop. But it's fun. It's fun. I like it. And,
that's what's up.
Yeah.
Now we're going to kick it off by talking about YouTube and their attack on us. We're gonna let Nick start this conversation.
And when he says us, he means these small, insignificant content creators, because that's the way YouTube is making a lot of people feel right now with this.
With Nick being very passionate about this topic, we're going to let him spearhead this conversation and lead in the direction he feels it needs to go. Nick, go ahead and tell us about this shitty.
So basically YouTube, they sent an email to all the content creators that are basically under 1,000 subscribers, letting them know about this new policy. And basically the new policy is that you will no longer be able to monetize as of, I believe it's like February 20th. You no longer be able to monetize your videos unless you meet the threshold of 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of watch time within the past 12 months. Now, here's my problem with this. Basically, I feel like it's kind of like cutting out the quote unquote little guy. When all of the trouble recently on YouTube has been the bigger content creators causing all the ruckus and the chaos. The smaller content creators really pretty much follow the rules. We're just out here, trying to make a name for ourselves. We're working very hard. So it seems like they're kind of punishing us, those of us who have less than 1,000 subs. Seems like we're kind of getting punished from that. So that's kind of like my thing with this whole thing. But also, at the same time, I do kind of see why they're kind of doing it a little bit, because maybe they're kind of trying to cut out maybe like the channels who really aren't doing anything or taking YouTube serious and kind of trying to centralize or localize the money a bit more. Maybe that's their reasoning, but either way it goes, I personally don't agree with it. I'm really the type of person that's all about being independent and being an entrepreneur. And I feel like a lot of us that work hard at this should be rewarded, because regardless of, the size of certain channels, these channels really are significant. They're bringing great content to YouTube. They're basically, making YouTube bigger than what it is. Like, everybody contributes. I feel like it's a community. Everybody has some contribution. Those of us who are really out here doing some things. So I feel like YouTube doing this is kind of punishing the little guy. I also say this, that I do think there should be some stability and some structure. I think there should be some structure. So I feel like those of us who have been doing it a while, they shouldn't do this too, but maybe like new content creators, just to kind of weed out those, like I said, that don't take it serious and stuff. Maybe do that to them, and not those of us who've been doing it for like a year or more. You know what I'm saying? So that's basically how I feel about it. I'll leave it to the panel. What do you guys think about this? I'll start with like Crunk, because Crunk's been doing YouTube for a long time, right? So Crunk, like, what do you think about this?
I have mixed feelings though, because like you said, I've been on YouTube for a hot little minute, off and on, over the years. Because I started I've always been on YouTube, but actually like adding content to YouTube was like late 2009, early 2010 when I first got my PS3. I don't know, man. YouTube, it seemed like they're killing off some of these smaller channels that were like getting to 1,000, and then once they got to 1,000, they're like, God dog it, now y'all making me do something else. And then also, I think YouTube did this to themselves when they opened up the YouTube program and just let anybody be a partner. That was stupid. The way they had it before, it seemed like once you got that YouTube partnership back in the day, that you actually worked for it and you actually did something to get it. And the past couple of years, they stopped all that and they were just letting anybody be a partner. And I think that shit bit them in the ass.
Yeah, so now they're basically punishing everybody as a result
pretty much
of their mistakes.
And then, like you said, it ain't really the small people that's doing stuff, you know what I'm saying, that's messing up at everything. It's the guys that have got the millions of subs, like that was Logan Paul guy, and
that's the latest one.
Yeah, like him, and like people been getting sued and all types of stuff, and I'm like, I don't get it. And then also they've been running people away anyway, because of how the money split is, and people are leaving YouTube in droves, and they heading to Twitch and getting Patreons.
Yeah, so like, why would YouTube be trying to do extra stuff to run people away, knowing that, you know, basically they're not the end all be all. Like, there's other like competition out there, so why not try to keep their talent? You know, especially the up and coming talent. You know, that's what I don't understand about this move here.
I don't know. I believe this wholeheartedly. I don't care what nobody says. I don't think it's YouTube. You want to know who I think it is? Google. Ever since Google came to YouTube, they have been fucking YouTube up. Got rid of how you can do, like, at one time, I don't know how long y'all been on YouTube, but do y'all remember when you used to see people pages and their page used to look nice and had wallpaper? Yeah, like you could tell who was a partner and who wasn't by how their page looked.
Really?
So like they just, ever since Google came to YouTube, trash.
That's unfortunate, man. It's really unfortunate. But
you know, I think at the end of the day, you know, this is what's gonna eventually kill off YouTube. Because like Crunk said, people are turning to Patreon and going to Twitch and going to Mixer. Believe it or not, Mixer is growing at a rapid pace. A lot of people are going to Mixer. I mean, a lot of people are turning to streaming. A lot of people nowadays that I used to watch, they now have streaming channels because they just worried about streaming now. Streaming has become the new. I know streaming's been a while, but it's become the new main way. Like, folks not really making videos as they once did because every video you make is getting demonetized. And now what they're doing now, I think this is the beginning. It may be, I could be wrong. I always reserve the right to be wrong. This may be the beginning of the end of YouTube, simply because they refuse to excommunicate themselves with a PewDiePie, with a Logan Paul, with a Jake Paul. Instead of punishing them, they decide to punish everybody else and allow them to keep going. And YouTube was just, they don't deserve the amount of people they get with these type of practices. Logan Paul's channel should have been erased.
Facts.
PewDiePie, I don't say that because he said a word millions of people say, right? So I'm not tripping. But what Logan Paul did was purposely go into a place with camera on, with the intentions to look for a dead body, recorded said dead body, uploaded said dead body. He did this all intentionally, and he gets to keep his channel.
Yeah, his channel should have been
messed up. His
channel should have been deleted, and PewDiePie should have been suspended for a few months or something like that.
And I don't believe in PewDiePie being suspended. I don't. That's just me. I think maybe people who felt some way about it. I don't know if he has a Patreon, stop supporting him. I don't know what he got going on. Maybe stop watching his videos or whatever. But that's a word in my opinion. It was hella wrong. It was hella wrong. Don't get me wrong for that. Don't get me wrong. Hella wrong. But nobody else is going to suspended for saying that word. So I don't think he should. But Logan Paul should have been perma-banned from YouTube. But everybody else has to suffer for it.
Here's the problem I have with this YouTube partnership program. You implement new policies by removing people that you accepted into the program. If you had grandfathered everybody in, and then you came up with this policy with new content creators, then okay.
Yes.
But to penalize small content creators this way, I feel like it's a slap in the face. And then you say it's to protect protect, the program. No, it isn't. You're blaming. I feel like you're blaming the smaller population based on the actions of those that are larger. I mean, you don't hear too many larger YouTubers complaining about this. Of course not, because that means more emphasis, more hits, and YouTube pushing their content more. So they're just going to continue to get bigger and bigger and bigger.
Like
okay,
rich
great.
Rich people don't speak out against Donald Trump because they're going to benefit from the money he brings.
Right. Exactly. But how do you send out a massive email telling people that you are no longer, if within 30 days you don't meet this 1,000 subs, 4,000 minutes within the past 12 months, within 30 days, you are going to be removed? That, to me, I don't understand how anybody can not be irritated and feel like that is just a bullcrap move. It really is not. Me personally, I've never, I think I can't say never, but I do not monetize my videos. I'm on YouTube to have fun, to enjoy gaming and just talk games and do what I do. But if there ever was a point where I wanted to put emphasis and try to make a living or try to make money, why would I want to do that now? The stakes have been, the stakes are so much higher and almost darn near next to impossible. So I just think that was crappy to do that. And I do agree with you, Kronk. I think this is Google. I really do. I think this is, they're looking at the demographic, and they're looking at everything. And it's pretty much is how we can take more money and put it into the larger YouTubers, and we're going to make more money, and we're going to cut out the smaller YouTubers because, hey, it's they're not bringing in the dough for us anyway. So, I mean, that's what it is. That's my take.
And to be honest, I don't take this personally like that. Because I'm not doing YouTube right now, but I definitely will always be standing up for what's right, and I feel like this is a big slap in the face for real. So
it should be, because on Twitter today, that joint was like 3 or 4 on like the top trending, and people were upset. Upset.
Yeah. You guys think that YouTube will do anything about it, or Google will do anything about it? You think they'll renege? No, they won't.
No,
as long as Paul and them are making them money, they
don't care about what any of us.
If the larger YouTubers complained about it, then maybe so. If they threaten to leave, right? Exactly, they don't. If they threaten to move or migrate, then that may, but no, they aren't gonna. When they removed like editing tools, I don't know if you guys realized that, but in September they removed a lot of the editing tools. I'm like, what are they doing? You can't even edit YouTube. Like if you upload a video and you could go in and edit, then it forces you to use a third party. YouTube used to have their own editing tools. They don't have any more.
Yeah,
to me, I almost feel like they were going to do this anyway.
Yeah, they were making money. They were cleaning the house.
Now I got a question, Dallas. I know you talked at length at PAX about starting your channel. Does this discourage you at all?
Yeah, I'd actually been thinking about that. Personally, my aim is not really just to make money off YouTube or to be a quote unquote YouTuber. So it doesn't really stop me from sort of wanting to do what I'm about to do. But this is some people's dream. Like some people want to do that for a living. Some people just want to make videos. And that is definitely not a good look for any of them. Now, I sort of have a limited experience with YouTube. It's pretty much from the outside looking in, but a lot of people might not be as fortunate as I am to have like a group of dope ass OGs around them that's been here that know what's going on. You know what I mean? Like everybody don't have it. So it doesn't really make a whole lot of difference to me. But if I'm being completely honest, I won't know if it will later on down the line.
Right.
But dang, I need to find me some dope OGs.
I think he's talking about us. He's talking about us. Hello.
Listen, don't let my sub count fool you. I've lost as many subs as I have because of the transition on my channel. I'm an OG.
Nobody knows your sub count, Fame.
Oh.
What are you talking about? I'm looking at your channel right now. I can't.
No, I've lost. Here's the thing. I'm at like 4,000, right? But I've lost as many as I have because I'm a recovering ex-bot. I used to come on because I didn't take YouTube serious. I didn't care. I knew I like Xbox, and I'm gonna poop on everything else. I did that like for the first year, and I was like, all right, this console war is not fun anymore because people are taking this too serious. So I'm just gonna be real with it now. So now people finding out the real me, they kind of like, we out.
We don't like that guy.
Like, whoa, he's an actual person. Like, back up.
Even though Xbox is still my preferred platform to play on, people don't like the fact that I'm not playing the part anymore.
Man, Fame, you start talking about Horizon Zero Dawn, and them cats,
bruh,
them cats started getting aggressive in the comment section.
At one point, I'm not BSing y'all. I was losing 10 to 15 subs a day.
Oh, it's so discouraging.
He got them pissed off. They were so mad at him. It was so funny.
It was bad. It was bad.
But it's the same thing. On Twitter. It's the same thing when you talk about, if you talk about Sony or PlayStation games, I see it on Twitter. You get flack either way you go with it.
Yeah.
And the thing about it, Fame, when you stay in the middle, you're gonna get hate from both sides.
Both sides.
It's like that. If you like anything other than what that person like, it's something wrong.
Right.
Like the hardcore Xbox community don't fool with me no more. And the PlayStation community don't fool with me. So I kind of said, you know what? I like it this way. Yeah. Y'all fool with me. That's all I care about.
And that's why I like the people that sub to me. They know where I am, and I have Xbox, PlayStation, or people that just don't even care. And that's what I like. You know, they don't even care. They just want to watch a game. I talk PlayStation, Xbox. It's no big deal. So
now speaking of being a gamer, like I said, me and Dallas was at PAX South, and we got to meet a lot of developers. We made a lot of connections. We got to play a lot of games. We were able to we, as a matter of fact, before I get to the next topic, me and Dallas were the first, out of 8 people, not including developers, in the world to see a game and play a game that's still currently unannounced.
Well, I thought you about to say y'all were the first black folks to do something.
No. We're the first eight people outside of the developers to play this game.
We were the first black people to see this game.
And actually, we were the first black people. We're the only black people in the room, right? So we're going to talk about
celebrate. That's something to celebrate, my brother.
The NDA of that game releases tomorrow. So me and Dallas, we're going to do a little video talking about our thoughts about the game. So that was pretty dope. I thought that was awesome that, the creators of the game said, hey, you guys are the first ones outside of our team to ever see this game and play this game. So that was pretty dope. But today, one of the NDAs did release for a game that we got to see. And with Dallas enjoying what he saw much more than what I did, I'm gonna let Dallas talk about this. Now, one of the games that we did get to see that the NDA has released today is Underworld Acendant. Now, Underworld Acendant, it was created by an OG in gaming. He made the original Thieves. It's an OG dude, right? So he has a lot.
System Shock. Yeah, he had a lot under his belt.
What his name? What his name be?
Paul Nareth.
I never heard of him.
Yeah, he OG.
He OG.
Okay. He's been making games since 86, 76. He's been making games for a long time.
Yeah. 76?
I knew it was a 6. He's been making games forever, right? So he OG dude. Oh, so Dallas, do me a favor, give the people, overall thoughts on Underworld Acendant.
Yeah, Underworld Acendant is pretty much I hate to compare it to anything because it is its own entity, but I feel like it's like the next step that Bethesda should have taken. Like it's Skyrim without being Skyrim. Now it's an open world, a big open world, but it's subterranean. So everything you're seeing is underground. Now you do have the mechanic of sort of getting better at progressing through your skills. You get better at the things you do. So the more you fight, the stronger you get, the more magic you use, the more you learn about magic, and the stronger that gets. Everything is upgradable, but it's sort of got an emphasis on just letting you experience the world, letting you figure stuff out, like trial and error. There's a whole ecosystem, and when I say ecosystem, everything is evil at the same time. Like the plants are trying to kill you. Like legit, the plants are trying to kill you. But they make it to where everything means something. Everything has weight, and you can use that to your advantage.
Real world physics was I think was dope in this game.
So you have to think about things like what might be contained inside something, how heavy something is, just anything you can. They basically try to make it real world physics. Just make sure that you go into it thinking you were there. Think about it as if you were there.
I think one of the dopest things about it, Dallas, was everybody's gameplay is going to be different.
Yes,
everybody. We can all have a game, and we're all going to go through a level. And something I'm going to do, you can be like, oh, I didn't have to do that because I use this. I did it because I did this ability. Because when you go into each subsection, you can choose between 3 different type of abilities. And so one of the abilities is he has this magic, and all his abilities are pretty much passive aggressive. Like the magic abilities don't do any type of damage. So you have to use this wand to gravitate these boxes that Dallas talked about, which were, if they're heavy, they're actually heavy. They're 88 pounds. So you have to pick up a bunch of boxes with this magic wand, put them over to some fire, let them set on fire, and you have to actually wait. They don't just instantly burn. Wait for them to set on fire, and then chuck them across the room to land on people. I thought that was pretty. Yeah, I thought that was pretty dope.
Like time magic, you have a spell where you can slow down time, and it doesn't just do it in an area; it does it everywhere. So you can run around the world kind of, and for as long as that that spell is active, that's how long the spell is active. Like from one end of the map, I won't say one end of the map, from one end of the area of the map that you're in to the other, for as long as that spell is active, you can take advantage of your enemies moving a lot slower than you are.
And it was pretty dope. And then they had one of the subsections where the not subsection, but the abilities was I guess the warrior type, and there was no crosshairs.
But and you didn't like this game? You didn't like the game, Fame?
Nah.
Oh, you sound like you were impressed by it. Well,
nah.
It's definitely very technically impressive.
It's not
like RPGs. You shouldn't even touch.
It wasn't a bad game, right? It's just not the game I could see myself going out and buying. Like it wasn't bad looking. The game looked amazing, right? Graphically, it looked great, and it was still in alpha. Yeah. It wasn't my type of game. I think it was a bad game, and I'm being 100% real. Like, don't hate me if anybody from 505 is listening. I was trying not to fall asleep.
Whoa. Damn.
Granted, we were going off like 4 hours of sleep though.
And that's probably what it was. Cause we probably slept a total of 8 hours that weekend, right? So, like I said, it wasn't a bad game, but this is why I wanted Dallas to spearhead it, because this was his type of game, and he enjoyed what he saw much more than I did.
Look, if you like any of the Elder Scrolls games,
which I do.
If you are a super fan,
of course you do.
And it's basically It's basically you are a person from
I'm drinking some mead right now, bro.
In the game, you're somebody from present day, and they basically drop you into this world and let you have at it.
Yeah, I thought that concept was cool too. The whole, you being from this day and time, this day, and you being dropped into that world. I thought that was pretty dope.
What games did y'all like? What games did you like, Fame?
At PAX?
Yes.
Oh man, Omen Sight, which was amazing.
Oh my god.
It's made by Spearhead, which is the same people who did Stories.
Yeah, okay, I see why you like that. Okay.
That was the name of that fighting game.
What's
the name of that game? I'm gonna figure out the name. I can't remember off the top of my head, but the fighting game was amazing. Dauntless was so much fun to play. We got our hands on Dauntless.
Oh, y'all like Dauntless? Okay.
Yes. What was dope about it was everybody else played with each other, but the developers actually played with me and Dallas.
Yeah, they ran one with us. And
that didn't sound weird. That sentence didn't sound weird at all. No, it didn't.
Get him. He always jumping on me.
You heard that nasty.
Yeah, I heard it.
Everybody was playing with themselves, but the devs were playing with y'all. Dallas co-signed that shit. He was nasty about that. What the hell?
They ran
PAX what? PAX what?
Yeah.
I'm glad I didn't go.
Me too.
Look, no, hold on. Pause, rewind. Wait, Nick.
No, y'all better fix that.
Hold on, Nick.
Please fix that sentence.
Nick, you spent the entirety of the time that we were at PAX trying to convince us to play a penis game.
Fact.
You can't say nothing.
He tagged me in a
You
penis
can't
every
say
day.
nothing.
Talking about, ooh, fam, y'all want to play this?
This gonna be our favorite game of pen.
Ooh, fam, y'all see this game? Bring me back a souvenir. Put them on the person.
Yo, I did not say that. But okay, catch
One of them Devolver Digital condoms.
Devolver Digital is called genital jousting. Yes, it's called genital jousting.
Looking at
It's about a bunch of penises jousting, right? So I saw it on my feed, and I immediately was like, Fame and Dallas are there. They may want to try this out. It seems like y'all type of game. That's all I was saying.
You bring a whole new meaning to the phrase "looking ass."
But there were a bunch of good games there. There was a bunch of good top-down games. Like we played so many games that it's really hard to nail down. We Are Fuzzy Sleep Tight was just everything I thought it would be, right? Nick, the moment I saw that, I say, Nick, book this interview.
Yeah, you wanted that bad.
And it was everything I thought it would be.
Nice.
Man, and you talking to them, you ever know that a dev has a plan to fix a certain thing in the game and you kind of don't want them to? Like the Switch version of Sleep Tight is pretty difficult. And they say, yeah, we'll go ahead and fix that. It's going to be a lot easier in the final version. No, I want to die over and over. Like, I want to feel this satisfaction when they feel this satisfaction. Like, I dig this. But yeah, it's other than that, it's pretty dope.
Hey, real quick, I want to give a shout out to the OGs in the chat, man. We got some OGs. I'm here. We got Damien, Urban Gamer, Jay Fonzarelli. They all are real OGs. They were on the Atari. They're back from the Atari area. They're talking about that. Yes, there's some real OGs. And shout out to ABA. Wait, what's this? ABACAB72. His birthday is on the 22nd. So shout out to you.
Hey, don't forget Malik Weeks. Got to give a shout out to him. Oh, and wait a minute. Hold on.
Well,
Skull Stomper, 1978. Shout out to you, bro.
My man said he was rocking on it in television.
Damn. I saw that in the museum, fam. You remember that thing?
Lot of mercy.
Yes. Oh, I feel sorry for y'all back in the day when playing
Don't
that.
Even try it.
What? It was in the museum. Real talk.
Don't even try it.
It was dusty.
It wasn't in you. And like to shout to everybody who watching, man. If you guys do us a favor, make sure you guys hit that like button, share it out, get people talking, get people rocking with this podcast. This should be the last time you guys see this podcast like this. We're going to flare it up. It is 2018, and I did promise some changes. So next episode,
so we going full light skin, is what you're saying?
Yeah, we're going full light skin next episode. So
okay.
What's up with the colorism?
What?
All this colorism up in here.
What? Light skin is flair. Light skin is beautiful. Colorism.
So,
that's a new word I learned last week.
Yeah, I learned it like 2 weeks ago. It's not It's not racism. It's colorism, Nick. Oh, colorism. Okay. Thanks for that.
So, Mama C did bring up an interesting topic to our attention, an article that I wasn't quite aware of, and this talks about the challenges of single-player games. So I'm gonna let Mama Cita take over and spearhead this conversation.
Okay. Well, apparently, I guess Polygon put together, what's his name? Sam Vanneman. He was the founder, I believe, Campo Santo, and he was the lead writer from Walking Dead, the Telltale's Walking Dead season 1, I believe. And then Amy Hennig, you all know who she is, writer, director of all the first 3 Uncharted games, and kind of put them together because I wanted them to talk about like why games get canceled and kind of the differences between the AAA gaming experiences versus indie games, and just understanding that entire creative process. And the interview and the conversation was really, really long, and they touched on a lot of topics from women and ageism and all that kind of stuff. But one key point that I wanted us to talk about was the feeling of the death of linear story games. And we all know that that's kind of a hot topic right now, okay? So, and I know that Microsoft is really feeling the brunt of that with this lack of single-player experiences with exclusive games. So what I want to bring to the panel and bring to the audience is kind of Amy Hennig made a couple of statements, and And I'm going to kind of paraphrase her if y'all don't mind, but she was pretty much saying that at the $60 price point, there's just a lot of negative conversations around like loot boxes and games as a service, but the industry really has gravitated away from these linear story playing games. A lot of gamers are watching other gamers play a game, and she even made a comment like, why would you even invest $60 in buying a single player game when you could just go on Twitch and watch someone else play it? Also, with all the amount of money that is put into these games, like what is the, how much really are you getting back? So what I just kind of want to throw out to you all is like, how do you feel about those particular statements? And mind you, I'm paraphrasing, but kind of how do you feel with the idea that her saying that story-driven games really isn't where a majority of the gaming market is right now?
I feel like she's definitely speaking facts just based on the numbers and the struggles that developers go through these days. I mean, there's those of us in this community, which we got to keep in mind, this community is very small, no matter how loud it is and all this stuff. It's very small in the grand scheme of things. No matter how much we say that we love single player games, we buy those things, the numbers do show that the majority of gamers do not buy those games anymore. So that's why a lot of developers move into these big multiplayer games, having the loot boxes in their games and all this other stuff. I feel like the single player games, they're still significant in the gaming industry. And I feel like developers, they need to figure out how to, make it work. But for the big AAA side of things, because of those big budgets and things like that, I do understand why they put things such as loot boxes and stuff into the games to make, basically to make their money back and make a profit, because it's very hard to make a profit, these days, especially in the AAA space. So I do understand why they do that. My thing is, I want the developers to still to provide a quality experience without trying to rip people off. There's a fine line between having a quality experience and ripping people off. And I think a lot of publishers like EA and stuff like that have kind of put a bad taste in people's mouths because of the way they do things. But I feel like there's a right way you can do it and give the gamers what they want and still make a profit. Now, on the flip side, because I checked out this article as well, on the indie side of things, it definitely seems like indie developers are starting, those types of games are starting to pay off for them more. Because they don't have what they were saying in the interview, a checklist. So like AAA studios, there's just certain things you absolutely have to have in the game. It's so systematic to the point where there's no heart or passion behind it. There's really no room for that. But on the indie side of things, there's more freedom. You can kind of, build this game the way you want, cater to your specific audience, even though that audience may be smaller. You have more of a chance of still making a profit because you're not putting all this big money into your game. So indie developers seem to be kind of profiting more off of these single player type of experiences and things like that. And for me, I think that's why I'm pretty much drawn to indies more, because I get more of that quality single player experience, those types of games that I love on the indie side of things. And it seems like the AAA is going to the big multiplayer experiences, which I personally don't like, but at the same time, I understand why.
Yeah. Well, that was one of the points that Sean Vanderman was making in far as like the freedom and flexibility that indie games have. But let me ask you, Crunk, you there?
Yeah, I'm back.
Okay, you've played Uncharted, all the Uncharted games, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So now, Amy, she made a statement that every time, every game that they made, every Uncharted game that she made, always felt like it was a risk. And it, of course, it paid off for them, but the feeling was that it was a risk. So, I mean, I guess my question to you is, having played it, and I know it was kind of like asking you to look back and try to say, how could you imagine playing Uncharted, that game would have been perceived behind the scenes as a risk, or possibly, that they really could have lost?
Sometimes yes and sometimes no, because like with Sony, when they put out a game, they usually give it a second chance because the first Uncharted didn't do so well. And I would, if I were Amy and them, I would have been like, man, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Because it wasn't well received as they thought it would be.
The first Uncharted?
Yeah, the first Uncharted.
The first Uncharted, okay.
Well, Uncharted didn't come on the map until Uncharted 2. A lot of people who played Uncharted 2 had never played Uncharted 1, including myself. I started with 2 and then I stopped playing it, and then I went back and played 1, 2 to get ready for 3. Because remember when I told y'all I didn't get a PlayStation until like 2000, like late 2009, early 2010. Uncharted 2 had just came out. So I had missed 1. I didn't even know 1 existed. And I kind of agree with her that they probably thought that it was gonna fail because I think Amy did 1, 2, and 3. 3, I don't know about 3, but 1 and 2 definitely.
Can I say this? I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
What happened?
Didn't Phil Spencer get killed for saying this?
Here we go.
Am I lying? Phil said this, and everybody killed him for it. Amy says it, everybody's like, "Yep, you know what? That's right."
But Phil did he die?
Almost.
But did he die?
I don't agree with Amy Hennig that about single player games. I love single player games.
I do too.
But look though, here's the thing though.
But Phil clearly
on their end, they look at numbers. Here's the problem with looking at numbers. They indicate what people will buy, but not always what people want. Successful at selling people, not always what people want. So if they take that stuff that you shove down their throats, or they take that stuff that you suggest, then going forward is like, do you not think that that they'll buy the same thing?
But see, one of the points though is that gamers are migrating away from the story player driven games, that they are moving towards, these games as a service type games. And she even indicated that when her game, her Star Wars game that got canned, she said that really, it really didn't come out the blue. It was something that she stated. And
exactly.
She said that when you look at the millions of dollars that these developers are spending on these games, $60 million, $100 million game, and a gamer will complete it in the weekend. And it almost feels like it's a slap in the face to them with how much time and money and effort that they've put into this game, and then gamers are just running through them and completing them.
Maybe it's just
like I said,
maybe it's just me, but to me, it just depends on whether or not I get my money's worth. It depends to me on whether or not the game was what I needed it to be. Like one of my favorite series in the world is the Onimusha series. Most of those games, I beat the main story of my first playthrough within 24 hours. I stayed up all night, I beat it, and maybe took a nap and finished it or something like that. I never felt like I didn't get my money's worth out of those games. I always felt like what I spent on it was worth it. It's just because it was a good game.
So then do we measure the amount of time that we spend in the game, whether or not it's good, or just like you said, how you felt playing the game?
Just how you felt, man. I can beat a game in 5 hours, or I can beat a game in a month. And if I enjoyed it regardless.
Listen, single player games will always be around, right? But what these developers are saying, and what Phil Spencer said, isn't a lie. All I'm saying is Phil Spencer said the same thing. He never said single player games are bad. Amy not saying single player games are bad. What they're saying is people are leaning more towards the multiplayer side of things. Developers are going to try to find other ways to make single player games worth their while, whether it's loot boxes, DLC. They're going to continue to do that. But all I'm saying is there's a lot of hypocrisy from people, because when Microsoft said this, it was Microsoft hates single player games, and all they're going to do is games as a service going forward. That's not what they said.
But the thing about
Amy's saying it, and it's okay.
But the thing about this is, the thing about this with the single player game shit is that they've been saying this for years. Oh, single player is dying. Single player is going to die. And I'm like,
they're never going to die.
Yeah, they're never going to die.
No, not that they're dying. Is that they're becoming too expensive.
Because they're not selling, that people won't people don't enjoy them.
People are enjoying them. They're still selling, but the production value what's going into the game is becoming too. That's what they're saying. It's becoming.
But that's the thing, though. Okay, that's the thing, though. Listen to.
Hold on.
Listen to what you just said.
Hold on.
Most of the games that
no one said
have been indie games took over this generation.
Clearly, no one said, not a single person.
That's right, Crunk. That's right.
Not a single person anywhere said that the games aren't selling. Right. What's being said is the production value is getting higher and higher, and they have to find other ways to circumvent so they can make more of a profit or a profit in general.
What though?
So listen to what you just said though. Like, okay, so say there is a decline in the development of single player games. Who does that benefit? So in saying that single player games are dying, in saying that.
Oh, see, y'all focusing on what ifs. I'm talking about the right now. Y'all saying, well, what if the climate? What I'm saying is right now, as of right now, today, the price to create these games are going higher and higher and higher.
It's been going on for years. That's nothing new.
No one is debating that. No one is debating that. What I'm saying is, I'm going to clearly off of what they're saying. It's getting higher and higher and higher. And these people want to make more money. So they got to find ways to circumvent the situation by bringing out DLC, by bringing out loot boxes. You either got to deal with that or deal with an $80 game. Now pick one.
Okay. All right. Let's settle our feathers down.
Why we in this stuff? Put your head in your pocket.
They need to raise the price of these games. They need to go to $80.
I'll say like this and put it in the
Hold on, but
I come from the age of these high price ad games, so it don't make me no difference. I'm gonna buy them regardless. You know what I'm saying? We bought them when we were little, so hey, some of these gamers not used to them high price ad games. But I remember when games used to be jack sky high, and you want.
But I'd rather do that and have the entire game. I'd rather do that, and when you release DLC, have it be free. Or I'd rather do that.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. Like, say what you want.
I would too. Give me the whole game.
Give us the whole game.
But you can make that game. You can.
The moment an $80 10-hour linear game comes out, no one's gonna buy it.
That's guaranteed. Not true. We did it before, so why not now?
What $80 game?
But yeah, that's true though. That's true though, because we've been spoiled at this point.
Somebody show me an $80 game.
I think that's true because we've been spoiled at this point.
But I'm just saying.
What I'm saying is somebody show me an $80 game.
I remember short games. Because shit.
But here's the thing, though. It does not have to be
the game prices. They go up. The game prices always go up. Like we've gotten spoiled. Like these last two generations, it stayed at $60, but we're due for an increase. It needs to go to 70 to 80. Like we've been at 60 for a while.
But what I'm saying is,
we have been spoiled, though. I ain't gonna lie.
And you say who's gonna buy it? Everybody's eventually gonna buy it.
If you're a gamer,
you're gonna complain at first. You're gonna complain at first, but you're still gonna buy it. That's what gamers do.
Hold on. Okay, so let's say, for instance, Bethesda makes a game that's $60, and Guerrilla decides, you know what, our game is going to be 80. But Guerrilla say, you know what, but Bethesda, you know what, my game's going to stay at 60. People going to buy that Guerrilla game?
No, when the prices go up like that, isn't it like across the board typically?
Yeah,
it's typically across the board.
It's monkey see, monkey do.
It's an industry thing.
We still got games dropping at 30.
They undercut too, because you remember when 2K first came out. What was it? NFL 2K? It was only $20.
It was like $20, yeah. So I'm saying people eventually do that route, but at first, no, people do the 2K route, or people release a $30 game. Not everybody. There's no rule that says, all right, y'all, all this game's got to be. Because people,
right?
Games,
you're right.
Whatever
you're
they
right.
feel like they're supposed to be made.
Look, though,
you're right.
I'm saying is, when that first game gets up to 80, everyone's the majority. I ain't talking about y'all. The majority of people are gonna whine and complain. I guarantee you.
I'm not gonna
complain too. I'm a cheap ass dude. I'm gonna complain too. I'm saying, hold on. It's that or don't buy optional loot boxes.
But look though, for one, does it have to be one extreme or the other? And for two, is it not possible that it's just being suggested to us that single player experiences are becoming less popular because it takes more money to make those?
Yeah, good point.
That's the whole point. Guys, that's the whole point.
Indoctrination.
They don't want to spend money. They'd rather spend less money and make a multiplayer game and then make money.
Right,
it's easier to tell you it's no longer cool, so you don't ask for it no more.
Yeah, that was got a point.
10 years ago, guys, 10 years ago, a game may have cost $40 million to make. On average, though, now the game's about what, $100 million, a great AAA experience. So the point that they were making in their conversation is, if it's $100 million or more to make a game, is how are you going to make your money back?
Thank you.
And if we are going to complain about loot boxes and the way that they're doing these season passes and DLC, which I think there are legitimate complaints, but then at the same time, how can we expect, we want these powerful, graphically phenomenal, visual stimulating 4K native games, but then we don't want to pay for it.
Right.
I got two options. Hold on, guys. You got two options. You got two options. The only two options you got is either be okay with an $80 game or don't buy a loot box you don't have to buy. Don't buy a DLC you don't have to buy.
I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem with the loot boxes. Just get it clear. I don't have a problem with none of that. I just think that quality takes a dip with a lot of these publishers and stuff like that because of certain things they do in games that they really don't need to. You know what I'm saying? So if they're able to do it right and provide us with a quality, great experience for our money without infringing on that, I have no problem with what extra stuff they put in the game. You know what I'm saying? As long as they don't take away from the game, they give me the full game. I'm getting the full game for the money I pay for, and there's nothing forced on me. I ain't got no problem with that whatsoever. So when they figure that shit out, how to do that right, then I'm all in. But right now, most of the publishers, they haven't figured that out.
I think Assassin's Creed Origins figured it out. They figured it out, and it was a great balance. If you didn't want to spend the time grinding, you could just go in and buy time saver, that would help you, time savers that would help you advance through the game. A lot of people just don't have the time. Some people want to come home from work after working 12 hours a day, family, kids, and all that. They just want to pick up the controller and play for a couple of hours. They don't want to explore the entire map of Egypt like Mamacita and a couple of other gamers don't mind doing.
Yeah.
So I mean, I really think it's someone
lives. Yeah, I don't know.
Well, I do have a life. I just have the ability to kind of do that sometimes. Can't do it all the time. I have a life.
But look though, here's where I got it.
Don't put me on like that.
Here's where I gotta call bullshit.
I'm gonna get you.
This is where I gotta call bullshit though. Games of this past year, if not the best game of this past year, Hellblade. That team was like what, 12 people. It took them approximately $300,000 to make that game. 12 motherfuckers. So that's where I gotta call bullshit. I'm sorry, and that was AAA at its fine. Even though it was indie, it's AAA indie.
Hey, yeah, but Amy did make a good. Amy made a good point. We're about to wrap up. We're about to wrap up. We're about to wrap up.
Quality.
But Amy made a good point though. Like with Hellblade, it looked good. It was great, but basically you didn't have that many characters on the screen. With that quality and stuff like that, with these other games, like these big AAA games stuff, you have to have that same graphical fidelity for multiple characters on the screen at once and maintain an acceptable frame rate. So there's a lot more that goes into,
but then going forward,
big AAA game, because that was a mid-sized game. That was a mid-sized game. That it looked like a AAA game as far as graphical quality, but you could tell that it was limited. You know what I'm saying?
We're running off.
You could tell that was a mid-sized game. So,
but it was 12 people once again. I mean, like if there's a bigger studio, they don't have to have as many people as usual, but they'll definitely have more than Team Ninja had.
We got to wrap up. We have hit our time for the day.
It's past Fane's bedtime, everybody. Basically,
hey, Fane, what in it?
True to the double XP passion, we set fire to this podcast. Y'all know how we do. We will debate. We will go back and forth, but it is all love. Somebody go to the comment section and say World Star. That ain't the case. We fight, we argue, but it's all love at the end of it. That's what we do. That is the whole point of the WP podcast, that we will debate each other,
and we don't always agree.
Comes for love. We don't exactly agree, yo. I strategically put this panel together because I knew it was a difference of opinion across the board.
Yeah, what man is always going to agree with another man? So, tell me that. But let's go.
But we're going to get these after out the way. We got my light-skinned brother, Mr. Nicodemus X.
Yeah, man. Thanks, everybody, for joining. Had a lively chat tonight. Appreciate all you guys. Hit that like button on your way out, and make sure you guys tune in 2 weeks. We'll be back in 2 weeks for more action. You know what I'm saying? So peace.
Dirty Diana.
Oh, he said world star, and he said joke. Okay.
He was playing.
Yeah, he was playing.
World star.
Yeah, he was playing around. He wasn't being.
And I didn't have to look that up and find out what world star was like I used to do when I see cool hip words in the chat. Okay.
Look at you.
All right, y'all. Appreciate y'all rolling with Mama Cita tonight. I feel like I'm getting my voice back. I'm getting into my groove.
What?
Y'all know my voice been tripping the past, couple of months. I had to have her tonsils out, so I was a little scratchy and foggy. But
yeah, you sound like Flavor Flav.
But I feel like I'm getting back to my nose. So this was lively tonight, y'all. I thought I had to come in and put on my gloves for a minute, but it's all good though. All right, but thanks, y'all. Y'all check me out on Twitter, Classic Gamer Gals, and Mixer, Mamacita 925. And I'm out.
And we got Crunk Girl who is my sister, and I love her to death, but I love the back and forth tonight we had, Mama.
Oh, you already know. We're going to go back and forth, man. We always don't agree on everything, which is why I like being on the podcast. But we can also be civil, you know what I'm saying, and respect everybody's opinion.
Fact.
That's right.
No circle jerks here today.
Oh, no.
I don't like none of y'all. I'm gonna find where y'all live.
Man, you do.
And then the man who decided to go on a cussing spree at the end of the podcast.
I heard Fame in the background. Man, it's too much.
Oh, my bad. Everybody
wait a minute, hold on. Go ahead, Crunk.
Yeah.
Gotcha. All right, Dallas. Can you go after what I cuss?
Hey, first of all, shout out to the whole chat, man, for being active. Y'all be out here for us, man. I appreciate it. Second, it wasn't no second. I just wanted to say bye. What's up, y'all?
Bruh. So yeah, man, thank you guys for rocking with us. Like I said, we do have the giveaway in the chat down below. We do have a special guest, a pretty big name in this gaming industry. That is coming onto the podcast here in a few weeks.
I'm always here.
Shut up. We're currently working out the logistics. We're currently working out the logistics to get this man on the show, but he has agreed to come on. So that's really exciting. So once we get confirmation of the date, we'll let you guys know who it is and what day he'll be coming on. Thank you guys for rocking with the Double XP podcast. If you're watching it on watching it live, thank you. For watching on Tick Network YouTube channel, thank you. Podbeans, iTunes, TICGN.com. Thank you guys for rocking with us. Make sure to hit that like button, share it out, tell your mama, your nieces, your grandma, and your uncle about this podcast, okay? And we out.
See y'all. Nicodemus, you got a big head. You know that.
What?
Mm-hmm.
Why you say that?
Because talking about like you always on the podcast. I'm telling you.
I'm a superstar. What can I say?
Mm-hmm. Think you all that in bag of chips.
Well, they tell me that every day in my life. So what else am I supposed to think? I'm light skinned.
All right, we're gonna let my Nick flirt after the podcast. Yeah,